Hello everyone, this video is about quadratic functions and discriminant. The difference between quadratic equations and quadratic functions. A quadratic equation has equal 0. It can be solved using any of the three methods. In this case, the value of x can only be minus 2 or 3. In a quadratic function, we have y equals. The value of x can be anything and the value of y depends on x and vice versa. In this example of quadratic function y equals x squared minus x minus 6, as you can see in this Desmos graph, you can try on your own. We have minus 2, 0, 3, 0, 0, minus 6, 0.5, minus 6.25. These are called the essential features of a quadratic function. We have the x-intercept, y-intercept, and the vertex. The concept of a function is that you can find the y value if you know the x value. So when the x equals minus 2, the y is minus 2 squared minus 2 minus 6. You just plug in minus 2 here and you get 0. This is why you have minus 2, 0. And when the x equals 0, we have 0 squared minus 0 minus 6, which is minus 6. That is why we have 0 minus 6. When the x equals 4, 4 squared minus 4 minus 6, we get 16 minus 10, 6. So that means we have a point here actually, 4, 6, also on the graph. To draw the y-intercept. Y-intercept means the point where the graph meets the y-axis. So this point here, because it's on the y-axis, of course the x value must be 0. It's gotta be 0, something. So to find the y value, just plug in 0. 0 squared minus 0 minus 6, we get minus 6. That's how you find the y-intercept. X-intercept means when the y equals 0. The y in this case is x squared minus x minus 6. So when this is equal to 0, we have a quadratic equation. We can solve this. We can factorize x minus 3x plus 2 equals 0. And we get x equals 3 or x equals minus 2. That is why we have 3, 0, minus 2, 0. The x-intercept of a quadratic function equals the solutions of a quadratic function, aka the roots or the zeros. This is called the vertex. Vertex can be a maximum or a minimum point. It's a maximum when it's the highest point. When the shape of the parabola is like this, we call it concave down or opens downwards. This happens when the coefficient a is negative. It's a minimum if we have the lowest point. When the shape of the graph is like this, we call it concave up or opens up upwards. And in this case, the value of a must be positive. The vertex is passing through the line of symmetry. The line of symmetry or the axis of symmetry. Quadratic functions are symmetrical about the vertex. This is the line of symmetry. And we can find the line of symmetry because this is 3, 0 and this is minus 2, 0. We can find the equation of the line of symmetry or the equation of the axis of symmetry by finding the midpoint of the x-intercepts. So exactly in the middle between minus 2 and 3, we get 1 over 2. If you know the x value of the vertex, of course you can find the y value by plugging in 1 over 2 here, 1 over 2 here, you get the y value. Another way to find the vertex, you can just use this shortcut formula. It's a handy formula. Minus the b is minus 1, the a is 1, you get the 1 over 2. You can also rearrange the vertex in this form, and the vertex is h, k. Notice that it's got to be a negative here and a positive here. So if we rearrange this equation by completing the square, we get y equals x minus 1 over 2 all squared minus 25 over 4. So this is the h and this is the k, the vertex coordinates. If you know the y value, you can find the x value. So if the y equals 6, x squared minus x minus 6 is equal to 6 then. If you rearrange, you get x squared minus x minus 12 equals 0. This is the quadratic equation. You can solve using quadratic formula, factoring, or completing the square. And here you get x minus 4x plus 3. X minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. So x equals 4 or x equals minus 3. In case you are wondering why do we have two values when the y is 6, well, that's because it's the same as finding the intersection between the line, the graph, and the horizontal straight line y equals 6. So the minus 3,6 is around here. This is called the discriminant. It discriminates the different types of roots or the x-intercepts. We have two x-intercepts when the discriminant is bigger than 0. We have one x-intercept when it's equal to 0 and when it's smaller than 0, because inside the square root we have something negative. There is no real solution, no x-intercepts. If the discriminant happens to be a perfect square, we have a rational root, but if it's not a perfect square, we have thirds or irrational roots. To find the number of solution, we can just find the discriminant formula, b squared minus 4 times a times c. We get, in this case, 9 plus 8, 17. Since it's bigger than 0, we have two solutions, or in this case, we can say two x-intercepts. Find the number of x-intercepts. X-intercepts means y equals 0, so this equals 0. Again, we use the discriminant formula, b squared minus 4ac. We get 1 minus 4 minus 3, smaller than 0, so we have no solutions, or we have no x-intercepts. In conclusion, to draw a quadratic graph, we need to know the essential features: x-intercept, y-intercept, vertex, and if we know everything, you can connect the plot the points and just connect the graphs. And this is how to find the discriminant, the shortcut to find the x value of the vertex form. If the a is 0, if the a is positive, we have open upwards, a is negative, open downwards, and discriminant negative, 0, positive, we have no x-intercepts, 1 x-intercept, 2 x-intercepts. That's it. I'll see you again next time.